Okay. Hi, everyone. I've been sick. Sorry, and I've had a chaotic month. My dog is sick now. So I'm a little bit out of the rhythm with y'all. But I just wanted to expand on the last episode where we're dealing with movement quality. And what you're going to discover, my head's not even in the shot. Sorry, I'm trying to find a good angle for what I'm trying to accomplish tonight. What you're going to discover, if you walk this path carefully, is that Aikido, in a big picture sense, is a really the more excellent way of expressing basic human kinesiology, the most direct way of moving, the most natural way of moving. And I know it doesn't look like that if you don't know the Aikido that people like Sensei Bennett and Sensei Rob are trying to teach. Um, but it very much, if you just fully let go and allow your bones to be the only hard thing in you and learn to align those bones, Aikido shapes are the shapes that emerge if two people are both doing it. Caveat being, yes, Tai Chi shapes also emerge. That, to the point of what I'm getting to here, is that Aikido tends to work with simplicity better and Tai Chi tends to work with complexity better. So the last exercises I had where I was teaching you to move most of your weight into one side and then just relax and just feel how lightly you can do it. Okay, you've got this tiny bit of attention you're using to move yourself and then just relaxing back to center. Tai Chi does better at looking at stuff like that. I'm going to stand in one leg. Aikido is much better at the just 50-50 weighted thing. So the complexity is a little bit more the Tai Chi side of things, and the simplicity is a little bit more the Aikido side of things. So I want to take a look at one exercise here from a chair. And you want to have your chair basically be flat. Your thighs should basically be flat to the earth, parallel to the earth. I'm going to show you a few things about posture and centering your posture from various angles. Let's see, maybe. So I have a broken posture from years of on crutches and a back injury and all these things that got going in me. Even now, it's like, oh, I want to just put that little vertebrae back in this spot. So let's talk just a little bit about how we collect ourselves. You're going to see I have some torticollis issues and a cat issue. But here, man, I really wish I had a better angle right now. Hiya, Jax. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, you're a good kid, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Oh my goodness, yes. What a good kitty. Okay. Yeah. So say you catch, I have a little bit of torticollis. That's the forward head thrust. That's especially for me being on crutches so much. So I've got a little bit of that stuff going on. But what I want you to start doing is, give yourself a broken posture. Let your posture just break. And what I want you to do is, instead of pulling up to create proper posture, I want you to feel the perineum, feel your center, that wiggle of motion that Rob talks about, engaging the core on the back side as well as the front side. And what I want you to do is feel how actually your broken posture creates tensions in your body. And what I want you to do is see if you can drop those tensions down through your center, through your perineum, and down into the earth. And my chair is not exactly flat. And then, so before I turn and look, I'm going to just kind of, here I am talking, I'm going to just take a look and see if I can find any more tensions. Oh yeah. And then when I'm starting to feel straight, I'm going to look over there. Yeah, my camera is not exactly flat, but you can see how, aside from that torticollis issue, my posture came up. So instead of the goal today is twofold. First is to look at how, if your posture is broken, don't correct it by lifting. That takes more effort and it's more congested, and just out of alignment is really the key issue in terms of if somebody's got a broken back, somebody like me. So maybe a different posture. I'm going to try something here. Bad angle on my chair there. I'm going to just get something funky. Okay, so funky angles in my back. Try not to hurt myself, of course, as I play with these things. Where's the tension patterns in my body right now? Oh, I don't want to hold there. I'm trying to let each tension pattern I find drain downward, down through my center, down through my perineum, down to the center of the earth. My arm was uncomfortable. I was uncentered with it over on the other side of my leg, so I did a little movement there. Catch the spots that I habitually hold and see if I can let go some more. I feel tall and straight. Yeah, I let me see if I can hold myself together. Yeah, and again, I have that slight torticollis, but aside from practicing this, which I do practice these sorts of things a bit, lifting that neck up, there's not, I practice working with it a bit, but so anyway, the goal here is to learn that by releasing tensions downward, you create better posture. I've been told, from people sitting behind me, wow, you sat upright that entire thing. I was sitting on the ground. And I was like, yeah, that's because it's less painful. All these broken postures people actually take more tension. The more I rest and relax into my bones, the more my bones hold the weight. And that's what they're for. And then my muscles don't have to. If I'm here, this takes more musculature than letting my bones stack vertebrae on top of vertebrae until I'm just upright. And there's a nice column, I call it, of right in the center of the center. When you learn to hold that fella, you'll find that standing on one leg is no problem. You'll feel the column from the foot to the top of your head, and you'll just be moving that column around, which is of course much more complex than that. But that's what it feels like there's this post through your being that kind of is powerful and holding you upright, and you're just relaxed around it. And me, I'm in tons of pain, so I'm not fully relaxed ever, but when I'm there, and I see it. Okay, so the postural thing is there. Let's try just one more exercise really briefly. And this one, I want you to stand up from being seated. And I would recommend pulling your feet relatively close underneath you and sitting right on the edge of your chair at first. But I want you to learn how to stand without lifting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this center of my perineum, and these kidney 1 points, feet are quite dirty from being in the yard. Kidney 1 point, boom. You'll hear me talk about it quite a bit. Energetically, that's the point that helps me the most. Now, when I'm practicing to create proper alignment, then I want the 3 points, right? But when we're just talking about basic energy movement, nobody's that aware on the bottom of their feet. So just the kidney 1 points and my perineum touching internally. And when I feel them touching internally, I'm going to take that dantian and I'm going to see if I can just pour it into my feet like milk or just being poured out of a jar. So and I'm going to try and keep my head roughly speaking upright as I do this, though sometimes it's appropriate to not be so exactly vertical. Just pouring myself forward, pouring myself forward, pouring myself forward, pouring myself down at the end, not pushing up, but resting up. So one more time. And these are two great exercises for just learning about proper posture and how to hold yourself in deep relaxation and how to move. Basic human motions. These are the kinds of things that Aikido excels in the most. But the pouring down, the resting, that's Tai Chi, Aikido, both. It's any soft style. So releasing tensions downward, resting, pouring my center, resting forward, dropping my center into my feet. And then once I'm up, I just keep tucking that perineum. That's the only sort of theoretical tension tug. You have to, of course, have some sort of tension to stand upright. Muscular tension is what causes that. I really hope this clock isn't as annoying for you as it is for me. So, trying this in a different environment. Got to learn to work with cats and dogs and everything. Okay. But again, bring it back. Feel that center. Relax and rest all of your tensions downward. And when you want to move in a direction, you move your center in that direction. But all three dantians remain, they interrelate. They don't just disconnect from one another. I don't like push my dantian down here forward and keep my dantian here and here still, right? And then I'm like arching my back. I'm trying to figure out how to do that even. Can't do it, right? Or again, I could push this dantian forward from my heart. Everything else is kind of behind it. I can feel how I'm going to jack up my back if I'm not careful. A lot of people actually move from this dantian. A lot of people move from their head. In a sense, you want to move all three together, united, but its initiation is the dantian in the hips. So, one more time. Feel that center, resting all your tensions downward. I just catching myself and not moving before I'm resting. How do I relax to move forward from here? Well, the stuff that's holding me up is all on this side. So just ever so slightly, way down here, I see if I can let go of some of it. Just a little bit of that musculature. Oh, I kind of spoke it backwards though. Technically, the stuff that's holding me up on my front is happening on my back. And the stuff that keeps me from falling backwards is the stuff on my front, technically. But if you listen to all this stuff down here, you'll realize it's much more three-dimensional than all that. So in my hips, resting downward. How can I let go to start my movement? Let go, resting, relaxing, falling into my feet, and tucking the hips subtly at the end. I don't try and lift ever. The most tension I feel is, well, the quads a little bit, of course, because you're using them. But in terms of movement, there's a little bit of right after I've stood up and the chair is no longer holding me, it shifts all the tension patterns in my body. And so in that moment, it helps me to think about dropping and tucking my hips. Hey, kitty cat. Yeah, you're full of energy, huh? You're a handsome fella. I suppose I should have you all meet Jax. He's my little stinker. Come here, Jax. Oh, I was about to jump. What are you doing? Yeah, this is Jax. He's a good kitten. What is that? Is that you? That is you. You want to say hi? What is that thing? What is that thing? It's Jax. Oh, a little purr. Oh, yeah, what a good kitten. Little purr. All right, you. Okay, that's our new kitten. He's maybe 6 months old or so at this point. I'm not sure. Okay, yeah, I hope you can see my screen well. So where was I? I was talking about the attention patterns and how to release them. And, in general, by the way, if you want to have better posture, sit on the edge of your seat. Sitting back is really and truly for when you need a break. Your muscles need to rest and relax. Then it's appropriate to find a way of setting back and resting into this. But even still, oh, this is a good one. This one's hard to actually. How do you rest forward when you're resting backwards with gravity? Um, so if you find a position like that now, feel this out from your shoulders to your feet. See if you can find the connection all the way from your tip of your head to your feet, really. But that's where I need to let go of my tension patterns. And what I do is I find something in there that can melt forward. As I melt forward, probably my hamstrings are going to fire off. There's a really good exercise I'll do one of these days soon that talks about it's called Katsuganundo or Inyo Itai. I'm not sure which of my Qigong exercises was which my sensei used to do, but it's this expansion and then drawing in, expansion and drawing in. And our movement does that all day long if you pay attention to what's going on. And so we'll talk about that as part of the movement series. So I have to draw something in, but how can I draw it in with relaxation? So how can I, and yet melt forward? It's paradoxical again, like all relaxed motion. How do I, and I'm gathering to my center right now. Feels quite relaxed. My center rolled forward naturally. I didn't try and do that. And now I expand again. I contract, expand. But that contraction, we're always doing that sort of with our motion. But how do you? This is the paradox and the refinement of soft martial arts. How do you do it with less? How do you make it feel like you relaxed more to do that effort? So from the place of relaxation, I'm gonna at my center. I can feel I gotta do something to draw this part of me that's resting backwards into gravity right now in the chair. Boom! I'm laying backwards. My center's about here. So how do I melt forward? Well, there's a deep line inside of me that I can feel pours. It pours forward. But right as it gets to a certain angle, I can feel this pucker in my lower dantian. And that pucker wants to draw everything together. So I'm expanded here. And then it wants to contract and then it wants to expand again. So I listen to that melting line as my primary sinking downward. Melting downward, the contraction's happening fairly naturally. I'm not deliberately rocking forward. My center is pulling me into spot, and now I'm expanding again. Ooh. And I keep standing up out of frame, don't I? Okay, I think I've said what needs to be said about this. But the idea is to see how much you can relax to make every motion happen, like a cat. Huh, Jackson, little purr, yeah, little cutie. Okay, so I think this might be the signal to end. He clearly needs some attention. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So again, this is part of the natural side of things. The more complex a motion is, the more you're going to want the Tai Chi. We're going to gradually expand these naturals into the less, the more Tai Chi complex. How do you look at these things carefully? Technique, and I will attend to my environment better next time. All right. Have a good evening.